Hello, guys. I don't really know who's listening. I know I'm kind of late. I just got sidetracked doing something else. I'm sorry. I just wanted to pop in here real quick because I had a couple of questions about the live that I did last night. And I had questions in the comments. That's actually like a lot of really good feedback. But I had some people messaging me and emailing me and just like kind of confused of what the hell I was talking about. I know I did the live kind of late last night and I was just coming off of watching the actual documentary. Not the documentary, I'm sorry. I refuse to watch the documentary. I was coming off of watching the Oprah follow-up interview last night and just kind of went on this rant on here and wasn't really clear about a lot of the things that I was saying. So I'm not going to stay here too long today. I just wanted to kind of talk about that. First of all, you guys just are amazing. You guys rock. And I am so glad that I did a little bit of, looking today, and I know that the documentary actually did not do very well. There are a lot of people who kind of, obviously you're going to have people who are going to believe what they want to believe, but there are a lot of people who do not agree with the documentary at all. They are very much against it, even people who are not Michael Jackson fans. So that is definitely very positive. It didn't do well at all, didn't have very many viewers. I think the first night had more viewers than the second night. Um, so it tanked, which was good because we want to live in a fair society. Michael Jackson, whether you believe he's dead, whether you believe he's alive, whether you believe whatever, he had his day in court. It proved that he was innocent on all accounts. Um, there was an extensive FBI investigation, like 165 pages. Nothing was ever found on him. So anybody that has a brain can clearly see that this for what it is, in terms of it not being, um, you know, in terms of it not being factual or accurate. I mean, on those terms, we knew that. Most people with a brain know that. But again, oh God, I'm sorry. What I spoke about last night was the why a little bit and like what I thought the target was, why they're doing it. So people were just kind of like asking me about, the numerology and what I was getting at, what I was talking about. So, what I've tried to kind of establish from the videos that I've done so far is the significance of numerology in Michael's life. But it's not just in Michael's life, it's generally speaking, just numerology is significant in all of our lives. It is what it is. Numerology, numbers in general, have meaning. They always have since the beginning of time. And something that I definitely noticed with this entire thing with these people who had this agenda, this establishment, that numbers are always significant in things that they do. And one of the things I noticed very early on with this particular situation is that they have tried to twist Michael's numbers around a little bit. Michael has always loved the number seven. I've spoken in previous videos about like the significance of the number seven in his life, his name, who he is, what he represents, his life cycle. I've spoken about this previously. So I just find it crazy that these exact people are trying to use his number to glorify their bullshit. Like, the movie we first so these for the Sundance Film Festival, these videos or these movies had to be submitted by a certain time. If you guys remember, Leaving Neverland was actually submitted at the very, very, very last minute. So it was like they like sneak submitted it, and incidentally, it was submitted on the 7th of January, which was really weird because I believe the cutoff was like, I don't remember. I think the cutoff might have been, I don't remember the exact date. I do know that it was the submission was supposed to be the 3rd and the 4th, which I think is really crazy because like you have that 3 and that 4 and you have the 7 already. And then they submitted it on the 7th, which was really like insane. And then you have, it actually premiered on January 25th, which is my birthday, and you have the 2 and the 5 and you have the 7, you might say, okay, those are just coincidences. Anything is relative. You can find a number from anything. But then you turn around and the world premiere of the documentary is on the 3rd and the 4th, which is the 7th. So they're trying to, I say all this to say they are trying to really twist things. It's so subliminal, guys. Like it's not like they don't do things so that you directly notice them, but it's like deep within your psyche. It's subliminal, you know? Um, when Wade is talking, he's giving this interview about not like in the documentary, but in like the magazines or when he's on Oprah, he's talking about the significance of why he wasn't ready to testify, why he wasn't ready to say anything. He goes, I wasn't ready to testify when I was 11. I wasn't ready to testify when I was 22. These numbers are significant. 11, again, 11 years old, 22 years old. You guys, this is like numbers are very significant. If you follow numbers, you will follow meaning. You will follow the reason behind a lot of things. And to me, when you see a pattern of numbers, you have to understand that it's either fate or it's orchestrated somehow. So that's what I was talking about last night when I was speaking about the different numbers and how they play into this entire thing. Um, so I know like people are just kind of like, oh, well, I'm so happy it didn't do well. I'm happy that it didn't do well also. I'm happy that it didn't have a lot of viewers. But you guys have to understand this is only the beginning of this. These guys are not going to just go away. There's going to be probably books, there's going to be book tours. They are very much so the fear is not the public. People in the public are always going to have an opinion of Michael Jackson, no matter what it is. Whether it be that you're a fan and you fully support him and believe that he's innocent, or you're just a general member of the public that just always thought he was weird and you're swayed to believe that he did this. But those are not the real threats. The threats are the fact that they are trying to target people who are survivors of sexual abuse. That's what's very disturbing. That's what's very scary. Okay? They are going around and targeting audiences of people who are sexually abused. Um, and you don't understand that something like this can trigger people who didn't remember who have stifled those feelings for a long time. So it's a long battle ahead, but you have to understand and like I said yesterday, you guys have to understand the significance of why it's so important to shut Michael down when it comes to speaking about children. Okay, because Michael knows the significance and importance of children. He knows the importance of children. Everything that's going on in our society today is directly influencing children. That they target children with music, with food, with everything. They don't care about us that are over the age of 25. They don't give a shit what we think, how we feel, because we're already indoctrinated. We're already brainwashed. We're already there. You you can change who you are. You can grow up. You can become someone else. Yes, you can. There's a growth, but pretty much your moral compass is formed when you're a child, and they cannot have someone that wants to be a positive influence on children or on the youth. So it's very important to give him as far away from the mindset of children as possible. You see these stories when Michael first died about these kids who had autism. They would play Michael's music and they would calm down. You've seen the effect. He literally has healed children, you know? So there's so many significant reasons as to why it's children, it's children, it's children. And then this fucking Me Too. I'm telling you, I have said a million times, like I keep telling people, this Me Too movement bullshit is exactly it's exactly a distraction away from the Hollywood pedophilia. I keep trying to stress that to people. Corey Feldman was going on every goddamn news channel talking about Hollywood pedophilia. He was. This is before everyone started exposing Harvey and talking about this Me Too movement. Corey Feldman was talking about Hollywood pedophilia on all these shows. You had Elijah Wood said he like pretty much just was disgusted with the industry because there's these Hollywood executives that were molesting children, that were hurting people. Do you guys remember this? This was like 5 or 6 years ago with Elijah Wood. You have Corey Feldman that started speaking about Hollywood pedophilia. As soon as he started talking about that shit, people started to pay attention. You have this Me Too movement. It is to cover up Hollywood pedophilia, but it didn't do the job. It didn't do enough. So they start fixating the attention onto other things, and they're twisting it. It's an opportunity to further bury Michael. You know, please don't have a false sense of security because fans are dragging Wade Robson. Guys, don't have a false sense of security because on Twitter, people are dragging Wade and James. Don't have that false sense of security. Go to comment sections on major news sources, New York Times, LA Times. Go look at the comment sections on these places, CNN, MSNBC. They are not, in terms of ratings, yes, the fans definitely like, drag the show. But there are people who still significantly believe that Michael Jackson did this shit. Now you have celebrities who are speaking out. You have John Legend, who's very influential, DL Hughley, Ellen. Okay, all of them canceled in my book. But don't get a false sense of security because people are saying, "Oh, I didn't like it." This is no. This is not the point. This is not the purpose. The purpose is, I keep telling you guys, when things start to happen and people want to go back and reference Michael Jackson, this is going to get in the way. Don't stop sharing the truth about him because you think there's a false sense of security because fans drag celebrities on Twitter. That's Twitter. That's Twitter. That's not Instagram. That's not comment sections on major media outlets. I saw 617 comments on a New York Times article, and I bet you at least 500 of those were saying he was a pedophile. The battle has just started. Okay? This documentary coming out, and I think it's only airing in the UK now, I think today. American culture has been pretty much done with Michael for a long time. Michael didn't even like tour in America because people were just on his ass so much. So America has never been the big threat. America has never been the big yeah. But it's always been like the UK that's been very much against him in terms of like their media. They've been always very biased against Michael Jackson. And it's like it's not even about the music. It's not about not playing his music. I keep telling you have to look past that. I'm not talking about Michael's. This is what separates me from a lot of people. People are so bent about Michael's music, his legacy. I get it. I get it. He worked his ass off to get where he got. As a black man, as a poor boy, I understand that. But it's not about Michael's. That's not what's important. His message is. I'm not. Who gives a shit about Thriller if they're not going to play Thriller anymore? Who cares? That is not what's important. The importance is Michael's message, what he tried to tell people. That's what you do not want silenced. You don't want that stifled. That mute R. Kelly shit, just down to mute Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, it's apples and oranges. It's totally different. It's not the same thing. You just have to understand that. And as far as the Pizzagate thing, because they can't, they're not going to expose that, Angelica. That's what I'm saying. They are trying to hide pedophilia. They can only hide that pedophilia by coming against someone who was very anti-pedophilia, who knows what happened, who knows what went on. It's like they have this smoke screen up that, oh, we're going to attack Michael's legacy, attack his music. Don't get me wrong. I don't want Michael's music to be attacked. Michael worked very hard for everything that he has. He worked hard to build his name to be the greatest entertainer that ever lived. He worked very hard for that. Do not get me wrong. But that is not what's significant here. What's significant is just trying to shut him up in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's they they got Sony off of him. They got the music. That's a whole other conversation for another day. They got his music off of him. They got his catalog off of him. So that's been gone. That musical Michael's musical legacy has been fucked for years because they got his music away from him. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. A lot of well-known people are involved with it. Damn sure not Michael Jackson. If Michael Jackson was a pedophile like they say he was, Michael Jackson would be covered. Do you understand that? If Michael Jackson did all this shit, they would never let it be exposed because it would implicate an entire ring of people, you know? So that's what I'm jiving at. It's the numbers. It's so you ask yourself what is so significant. Michael's not a deity. Of course he's not a deity. He's not God. He's not this he's not God, but it's like it's not about that. It's about there are things that when you I can know the exact same thing that Michael Jackson found out. You can know. It's all over fucking YouTube what Michael Jackson found out. But Michael has the global influence to tell people. You know what I'm saying? He can go and play a look at how this is it sold out in minutes. He has that global influence to influence. Michael Jackson would have influenced an entire new generation of people that the government has worked very hard into brainwashing into being fucking idiots. You know what I'm saying? Like they've worked very hard to make us very stupid. If you have this person, if Michael had this resurgence of his career, Michael hadn't toured in a very long time. I have always believed that they gave Michael vitiligo. I've always believed that. And I know it sounds totally crazy, but I've always believed that Michael was given vitiligo somehow because it made him it allowed him to universally appeal to people if he looked the way that he looked. But it backfired on them. I know that sounds crazy, and I will talk about it another time in more detail about exactly. But you absolutely can inject people with autoimmune disorders. You can inject people with anything. This is a fact. This is just a very 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 big fact. It's not fiction. It's not a conspiracy. You can give people diseases, and I very believe that much believe there was an agenda to make Michael appear universally um as someone that everyone could relate to. But I feel like Michael has his own path, his own purpose, and with that, you know. So that's another conversation for a different day. But yeah, so I mean, this is just it's really it's in a way, guys, with this whole thing, I know it's horrible and it's very painful. It's very hard to watch. It's very hard and difficult for me. I heard I don't know if you guys saw the interview that Taj gave this morning, but he said that Blanket is like not talking and they are very concerned. He's like, and I actually heard that from someone else that he is very, very devastated. Like, he is not taking this well. It emotionally is like fucking him up. He can't deal with it. He literally like isn't talking. Like he just stopped talking to people and they're scared for him. That kind of when I hear stuff like that, it breaks my heart because this is the shit that he tried to protect them from. He tried so hard to protect them from this stuff. This boy is 17 years old. Blanket is at an age right now where he is really trying to figure out what he needs, what he wants, trying to find his place in the world. You know what I mean? And it's so fucked up. Like Prince and Paris are a little if they're older, they probably can deal better with it, but he's as fu could you imagine being 17 years old and people in school are watching a fucking documentary where some guy says that your dad put him on all fours and looked at his ass? Could you imagine what a guy of all people, he's a young man who is dealing with his own sexual feelings, his own sexual desires. He's not even a little boy. He's like, he's a man himself. So could you imagine going through that and then having to hear those things? So it's things like that that really like upset me. So I understand that it's very hard for people to like deal with this because I totally like get it. But in a way, this entire thing has triggered something. It's it this has been a long time coming, guys. It has. I'm sorry to say, but it has been a long time coming because you cannot escape your fate. You can't escape your fate. You can't escape your destiny. You can't escape your purpose and what you're supposed to do here. So all that I can say is it's probably going to be a very long battle ahead, but you guys just like can't lose focus and lose sight of that. You know what I mean? Just keep understanding things. And I think once that clarity comes with people who don't understand, who don't get why he has to be silent, then I think once that clarity starts coming, like it'll be easier to deal with. But it sucks. I know a lot of people like who are experiencing this now. Like I wasn't a Michael Jackson fan when all this stuff happened back in 2005. I wasn't a fan of his. So I literally like don't know this. I don't know this feeling that I feel right now. It's very sad, but this should be a very, very, very strong um gaze into reality for people. This shit happens to people every single day. There are people who are accused of things with no evidence in this world who die for it, who are put to death for it, you know? I don't think this has anything to do with like a death hoax. Like I don't think I don't know. I don't want to really get into that from my perspective. I just think this is just so much bigger than so many other things. But I just want people to understand like you just have to I'm not saying to invest all of your time and your emotions. I know a lot of people who have been going through this for 10 years. Like they just don't know what the hell happened. They don't know what's going on. It's very emotionally draining. And I just encourage people like if you can't deal with this, you really should just like, support Michael's legacy, support his life, but move on. Don't spend your time investing in something that's going to tear you up. But if you are choosing to fight this battle and you're choosing to like stay in it, this is only the beginning. This is what I've told people. People thought for years it was just a fun and games, and you know, oh, this hoax is so much fun. It's a hoax, and Michael faked his death, and he's playing with us, and these things. The past like years, people have just been playing games with this, and I kept telling people, you know, I am not a very popular person in this community. A lot of people don't like me in the death hoax community. A lot of big players like don't care for me. They never really did because I've always said from the very beginning, like, listen, this is not a game. This is serious shit. You have to educate yourself on why someone would do this. And I got shot down. I got shot down so many times. Just like there's so many people who are, who for years would argue with me because I said, stop saying that Michael's kids are not his. That shit's gonna backfire. And it is, it's backfiring right now because those same people who were saying this are like arguing with people who are like, oh, he didn't want to have kids because because he didn't want to be black or he hated himself or because he's a pedophile. That's why he didn't want to have biological kids. All that shit is backfiring now. This is why I've been saying for so long, guys, Take this seriously. This is not a game. And I see people boo-hooing now. I see investigators like upset and boo-hooing, and I don't understand. No, you don't understand because you've been fucking playing around for 10 years. For 10 years, you've been calling me crazy. For 10 years, you've been saying that I'm boring. For 10 years, you've been saying that this is a game and it's fun. And oh, but now you want to talk about how serious it is. Now you want to talk about why Michael wanted to get away. Now people want to take it seriously. Now people want to see that this is not a game. It's not fun. It's not funny. Why would someone leave everything they knew and loved to talk to people online and play around? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not trying to like throw shade. I'm not doing that. That's not where my heart is. I'm not doing that at all. What I'm saying is, I just hope that people start really paying attention and understanding that this is the only thing that they say that's true is this is bigger than Michael Jackson. It is. But it's definitely a target because of what he knows, what he stands for. What does he know? They have to control people on YouTube that are just crazy. People are just literally out of their damn minds. But a lot of stuff, everything's a conspiracy until it's not a conspiracy, right? Everything is a joke until it's not funny. You know, these people who are in the death hoax community pretending to be Michael Jackson, it's like if people would have put this much energy into really trying to understand what's up with Michael instead of playing around with these guys who were just trying to get attention, there would be a very different way to combat this right now. I see people who have so much potential in investigative work who are just phenomenal at what they do, but they just waste time on things that are not important. So hopefully not everybody can come together and really work to to talk to speak the truth. Cuz guys, like if you're a believer, you believe that Michael Jackson is alive, like I'm telling you, that shit is not going to stay a secret. I am telling you what I know. People are going to find out that Michael is alive still. They are. I've seen it. And I am not saying that Michael's coming back. I'm not saying that. Please listen to what I'm saying right now. People are going to find out that Michael Jackson is still alive. And when they do, all hell's going to break loose. I think Liza Minnelli said that in 2009. When the truth comes out, all hell's going to break loose. And she has never lied. And when that moment comes, we have to be ready because shit is going to get crazy. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be something that's fun. It's going to be a freaking like witch hunt. That's the purpose of this. This is what I'm talking about. They know. They know what's going to happen. These people have to shut him up because they know. If there was no chance that anybody was ever going to find out about Michael, this stuff would not be going on right now. Why are they so threatened by him? Why are you so threatened by someone that's been dead for 10 years? Why? Why would you already took his catalog. What are you so scared of? What are you so afraid of? Why are you trying to do this? I'm telling you why, because people are going to find out that Michael's alive. And it's going to be hell because they're not going to know what to do. So just educate yourselves. Like you don't even have to even follow my videos, or I don't like to say the term follower. You don't have to even do that. I've gotten so many subscribers in the past. I've gotten like almost 200 subscribers in the past week. And that's awesome. That's cool. But it's like just really like if you have time, go to the drawing board and just really paying attention. Yes, very much. And I worry. I worry about Michael, and I worry about him because I just feel like you reach the point where you're like, "Are you fucking serious?" Like, it's one thing to Michael has always defended himself. He has. He's always, whether he came out on top or people still thought what they thought, Michael has always defended himself. So for him not to be able to do anything about this or defend himself, that has got to be making him want to come out of his skin right now. And I am so concerned about impulsive behavior. I'm so afraid of it because I said last night there are certain things that you cannot undo. And I worry. I worry that he's just going to be like, fuck it. Like, I have nothing else to lose. And that is, guys, that is not good. That is not a good thing. There's nothing good about that. If Michael were to like expose himself or he was to come back, that would just be so bad. It would not be good at all. It would be like, what the fuck? Who is this person? Just it's a mess. Everything's a mess right now. So just don't. I'm not saying don't be happy. We're all glad that it didn't do well, but don't get a false sense of security. Don't get a false sense of, you know, everything's okay because it's certainly not. They know that Michael's. Yeah, they know They know Michael's alive. I have said. Some people keep saying, oh Wade, she's doing this because he thinks Michael's dead. I think that Wade knows Michael's alive. I 125,000% believe that Wade Robson knows Michael is alive. I have said that. I have said this. I think he was very close with Michael. I'm not talking about he was just close with Michael like when he was a kid. Wade was around Michael in like 2009, 2008. Michael's kids know Wade. He was around him like during this time. He didn't just like disappear, like wasn't around. No, he was a very strong part of his life. And I believe that Wade knows that Michael's alive. And I think Wade is pissed off because he is not, he, it goes back to his childhood when he felt he was replaced by Macaulay Culkin. He is not happy with a lot of things, and people have their price. You know what I'm saying? Wade knows Michael's alive. He fucking knows he is. He definitely knows he is. I don't know about Jimmy Save Chuck. I don't know much of Jimmy Save Chuck gives me the weirdest feelings. I don't even know how to describe him. It's he gives me the most unsettling. I would not be surprised. I don't ever in my life I would never in my life wish death on anybody. I would never do that, but I would not be surprised if we hear that he committed suicide and he's not murdered for not um paying playing the game. I'll say that. I would not be surprised if we get like a suicide story, but I don't think he's going to kill himself. I think someone's going to kill him. There's something wrong with that boy. And I think that boy was sexually abused by somebody in his life. That guy is a nervous fucking wreck. That's what when I watched him on that Oprah documentary, I was getting like these this tightening in my stomach. Like this tightening. It's so I can't describe how he makes me feel so uneasy. There's something up with Safe Chuck. I don't know what it is. I really don't. Wade is just like a liar, sociopath. You can see through his bullshit. But there's something wrong with him. There's something up with Jimmy, and it's a very uneasy feeling to me. He's not going to be able to do this. I wouldn't even be surprised if Jimmy was was somehow threatened into this. That guy's he's gonna break. They are never going to allow him to expose this. So I am not. Listen. I am not wishing death on anyone, but do not be surprised if we get a story that this guy killed himself or committed suicide. Don't be surprised if you hear it because something's not up. Something's very off with him. Jimmy Safechuck is the one that's convincing people this is true. It's him. It's him that's convincing people. He was talking last night. Oh, I didn't. So Evan Chandler committed suicide. So did Wade's dad. What the fuck is up with that, guys? This is crazy. This is crazy. It's crazy. Like I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not here for it though. It's like something's not. I had the same thing too. I had the same thing too. That Jimmy Safechuck guy is gonna commit suicide, but I don't think it's gonna be a suicide. I think it's gonna, but they're gonna play. They are going to play. Let me tell you something. People are not believing this. They're gonna play off of that. When that guy, quote unquote, commits suicide, they're gonna try to say that he couldn't handle what was done to him. Guys, this is going to get nasty. Please mark my words. This is going to get very, and I pray that I'm wrong because nobody deserves to die. I don't think anybody deserves to lose their life. I really don't believe that. I don't care what you've done. I don't believe that. But please mark my words about this. They're going to use that guy, and he can't handle it. He can't handle it. And they'll blame it on Michael. Yes. They will blame it on Michael. Exactly. So he better play along because it's sick. It's sick. Very sickening. She said Jimmy Safechuck's mother said that she did a dance of victory in 2009 when Michael died. But then Jimmy turned around and said that he didn't even remember till 2013. So which is it? Their stories don't make any sense. So I don't know, guys. It's like, yeah, there are lots of conflicting stories. I know that sexual abuse is very real. And, you know, the industry is full of sexual deviants that rape, molest, and hurt children. Okay. This is something that's I see some people kind of making light of the situation, but I don't make light of it because I know I was hurt by someone when I was little. Like I experienced that. So I get it. Like it's not a joke, it's not funny. There's no one way that anybody deals with sexual abuse. There's no one way that somebody is able to deal with it, but people need to just look at the facts. And that's what I keep saying. It's the facts don't lie, you know? Yes, the baby burlesque stuff. The baby burlesque, this Hollywood pedophilia has been going on for so long, guys. I wouldn't be surprised if James and Wade were molested by somebody in the industry. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if they fucking were. Oh, most kids, like 85, 90% of kids are molested in the industry. This is facts. It's true. It's true. Michael was sexually abused. That's like the worst kept secret. That's the worst kept secret in fucking everyone knows. Anybody that has done any kind of extensive research into Michael's life knows that he was most likely sexually abused as a child by somebody in the industry. I am not trying to be taboo. I'm not trying to spark controversy or speak for Michael, but I'm telling you, if you do any extensive research, Michael most likely was sexually abused. So this happens to these guys, these men, these boys. It is facts. It happens to them. That's why it's such a twisted and disgusting thing what they are doing. R. Kelly fucked little girls on camera and walked out of. This is what I'm talking about, this being bullshit. He had sex on camera with a 14-year-old girl and was acquitted. Guys, if Michael Jackson actually, seriously, oh my God. It's just, I don't want to get all bent about it. I'm just saying, like, there is just an underlying agenda with all this stuff. Period, point blank. There's an agenda. That's it. There just is. And it's going to be exposed. It's going to be exposed. It's going to be the truth. The truth always comes out. So, what's the worst they could do at this point with Michael? And that is my fear about this. That's my biggest fear. What else can they do to him? So, the saga shall continue, but just stay woke, guys. I'm telling you, stay awake. You know, I just want, I just want to like, I just want to be like with Taj and do this bomb ass documentary exposing the agenda against Michael. I would love to be able to do like a real documentary where like I can like seriously like expose shit that I have found out, but it's tough. They are hurting his kids. I've heard some stories. I don't wanna ever, I don't wanna talk about private shit that I've heard because 'cause I'm just not gonna do that. I could talk about stuff that is public knowledge, like, what was said about Blanket is his cousin said, or BG, I'm sorry, his cousin said today, but I've heard stuff about Prince in Paris too. That's just devastating, like, it's so heartbreaking. These kids are really suffering from this shit. They are really suffering from it, and it's so they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it, and I just feel like I have so many emotions in me because it's like, oh my god, there's so much, guys. There's so many layers to this. There's so many fucking layers to this, and people, the true victims in this are Michael's kids, because Michael's kids never asked to be born. They never asked to be put here. They never asked to be left behind. They never asked for any of this stuff. They exist, but not by their own doing. And it's fucked up. It's sad because they are catching all the shit for this. Truly, in everyday life. Paris is like is a model. Like she has a seven-figure contract with a designer. Could you imagine like trying to, go on a job tomorrow and people are just like looking at you? People might say, "Oh, that's her dad's the king of pop, her dad's not." Yes, because you're looking at it as a perspective of a fan. Yes, as a fan, that's so cool. But if you're, I mean, yeah, so we think that, yes, of course. Because you just imagine everything that you do in your life being shrouded by your father's scandal. Could you imagine how that would be? And I'm not blaming Michael. I'm just saying, like, people have to look at all different sides of this. Blanket is like, or BG's applying to colleges and trying to go to school next year and has tried his best to stay out of the public eye. You're never prepared for something like that. You wanna go to college and be normal and live in a dorm and have your friends and have your girlfriend and be able to just do your life without, and you wanna be proud of your last name, and I know they are. I know that Michael's kids are very proud and they stand by their father's innocence. Don't try to mistake what I'm saying, but you want to be able to just live your life. And in so many ways, like, there's just so many other ways that things, in my opinion, should have been dealt with over time because the kids are catching this shit. The kids are catching it. They are. They are. And it's so sad because, you know, It's just sad. But I'm just hoping that everything that purposes are served, and everything balances out eventually in the future. But it's gonna be very hard to do that. It's a very tough battle. So I don't know. But you guys are awesome. And I love the fact that there are so many people that are truly like open to understanding the truth about things and like keeping an open mind and really trying to learn, and it's really important. So I'm glad there are people who see this for what it is. So that's very significant to me. And I'm sure it's significant to Michael also. Because I know Michael's around. I know he's around, he's listening to different things and he's paying attention to different things. The first thing that people in the believer community need to do is stop supporting fake Michael Jacksons. Stop, really stop putting attention on these people who don't deserve it and start putting attention on Michael and his truth and his innocence and his path. I hope this is a major wake up call to people who literally waste hours and time focus on people who do not matter. Because I feel like if half the energy had been put into Michael's truth over the past 10 years, if we would have all just stood together from the very beginning and not have these divisions and these fights and this competition and this, I can't imagine what we could have achieved as believers, you know? But this constant need to be number one and just the backstabbing and the drama and the cancers that implanted themselves within this community to cause, they've been doing this stuff since 2009. These people come along and they're plants and they cause chaos in the fan base and they cause disruption. These people have been doing this, and this is why and it worked. It has worked. This division has created this. I'm looking at this. You guys want to hear about signs? There's 22 people in here and 11 likes. That's 11, 11, 11. That's so amazing. Okay, I'm off my little, yeah. But yeah, like it's just time to come together and just stop this fighting and this craziness, and you know, it's time. It's time to come together and really start doing what we need to do. So that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about. That's so cool. Yeah, it's always there. I have to go do some stuff, but I have my new video. It won't be a video, it won't be a live. I have an actual video out most likely tomorrow. I'm gonna work on it tonight and try to start getting into some layers of things, but I don't know, I want to be here for you guys and supportive, and I love that you guys are there too, you know. But we can, you know what, Tanya, we can change that now. It's just time when people come along with trying to have divisions and competition and this crap. That's when you start shooting them. Don't allow people to come in and cause these problems and hurt each other. You have to shut those people out. People who want division and chaos and dissension, you have to shut them out and stop participating with their crap. This should be a wake up call, you know? Thank you, Ariane. I appreciate those words. Thank you. God bless you. So, I have a chat room, but I don't really go into it. Um, but if you guys ever want to go and talk together, you can. But I'm gonna go. But yeah, thanks for being here, and Thanks for listening. As always, if you guys have any questions, you could always ask questions on the video. I'll respond to you the best way that I can. I'm gonna actually go through all my videos and answer questions this weekend. So I can't stay. I have to go. I'm so sorry. I've been in here for almost an hour already, and I am 100%. I need to go and like do some things, but I will have the video available for playback, so you can listen to it again if you miss anything. I'm so sorry. I really have to go. I'm thinking about getting a podcast. I don't know, because I just want to like talk more and just I feel like I can better express myself by speaking. So I don't know. I'm thinking about getting a podcast, but I don't know. Me too, Tanya. I cut so many people off in October, so many like troublemakers, and I feel so great about that. I let all negativity out of my life, and I have never been happier. Believe me. I got rid of so much trash and bad people and negative energy. I feel like amazing right now. When you cut negativity out of your life, you feel so great. It's like, oh, it's the best. But okay, I will talk to you guys soon. We have a Facebook group called Michael. So you guys, it's just called Michael. If you guys want to join up. It's a great group of people. It's amazing. I love you too, Angelo. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.